Okay. Looks like it's working again. I just rebooted the program again. I don't know what the issue is. It's never usually been quite this bad. Well, you didn't miss much. I'm only now thinking to try something different to maybe hopefully take advantage of vertical preference or something. Alright, this might not have been the best idea. There we go. That's all I needed to do. I don't know why I was doing all that fancy nonsense. Can you imagine how different optimization would be in this game if scoring was actually always on the last monster killed, instead of being based on how many turns you're in the room, except for Conquer Token rooms? Like if it was, your score is based on when you kill the last monster, and not at all, well, you know, with the exception of Conquer Token rooms. And like, not at all based on where you are when you kill the last monster. Maybe optimization wouldn't be all that different in a lot of rooms. A lot of rooms would be optimizing them would be trivial, like any room of the form, kill the monster and then exit the room, I guess. Where killing the monster is easy and exiting the room isn't. There's basically no way to not make the last room a pain, but the first two are easy enough. Let me see, it looks to me like 12 are being spawned, so even with very suboptimal kills, it should be possible to push in there. Yeah, there we go. I can multiply 4 times 3. I'm a mathematician. It's as if the designer was already running out of ideas. This floor is very repetitive. We've skipped ahead several floors in the King Dugan's dungeon, eh? We're in whatever that one is. Was that number 13? Do I misremember? It's whichever one had the lines of rooms, I guess. Alright, this, there isn't much design that I would say went into this room. That's a bit harsh, maybe. But it is awfully, like, it's not just that this might be... It's not just that this room might itself be repeated later, but it's also that this room is itself repetitively designed, which is, interesting. Just needed to make that diagonal move a little quicker. Sooner, I guess, would be the word. So this is a pretty dull room overall, I would rate it. I'm curious, however, how we're going to expand on the idea. like, the most interesting part of something like this, where you have a static room, whatever, is seeing how, like, each iteration of the room varies from the previous one. This is not, so far this one's variation is not very much. It's just, oh, I plopped some wraithlings in, by the way. I mean, yeah, you turned some obstacles into pits, but I don't know. I feel like there's so much more you could have done with the original design. Like, you could make it actually difficult to climb the stairs, so to speak. Like, you could force the player to go all the way to the east first, or to clear all the north rooms first, or something. Those are the kinds of ideas that come to my head. Make it so that it's tougher to go forward, instead of just adding, you know, some other arbitrary monster type. Or, I don't know, you could add another monster type and make it really interesting. Like, I don't know if rock golems were on the table for this hold, but I could imagine making a room where you have a few rock golems now, and you need to place them in such a way to block the roaches. I mean, this doesn't really, like, the presence of wraithlings really just doesn't alter my, But yeah, the presence of wraithlings doesn't really alter my overarching strategy very much at all. Like, I'm still gonna just climb the staircase one rung at a time. Staircases don't have rungs, do they? Anyway, I'm just gonna go one section at a time, clear the guys to the east, and then line up things so that I'm looking south or north. Take care of that. Now let's just back up here. And yeah, there's a wraithwing behind me now, but he doesn't seem that inclined to kill me. I guess I should try to bait some of this out here. And that's what I thought he would do. Maybe I'll have better luck going north here. Or maybe I should clear out more wraithwing. There we go. I guess all those wraithwings were after me because of, the one in the corner to the east here. Yeah, this one. So the next one alphabetically was going to be the Oceanic Oligarchy, but as I was trying to decide whether I should do the earlier holds in the series, I discovered that I don't think I've ever done this one. Somehow or other, when it came out, it slipped over my radar. Was I past the letter B in 2018? I don't know. Apparently this came out in 2018 sometime, and I completely neglected to cue it in as here's a new hold that's come out since I already did the holds that it would have been adjacent to. This is getting on my nerves. Let's just kill this guy. Yeah, that will do. So I thought I should at least do this. I might also do Secret of the Blank Dungeon just because, I don't know, I mean, I'll have done the first, I'm about to do the third, why not do the second? Just remind me that I've already done that whenever I get to S, I suppose. Or perhaps I'll be able to remember myself. Okay, version 3. Now that's what I'm talking about. Look at this. This has conditions of some sort. This is what I would have maybe gone with for the second room, was put something that requires the player to move all the way west first. Or something like that. Granted, this is probably just going to result in pain, but it feels like something was added as opposed to just throw Wraithwings in. Of course, I think that asymmetric variations on this would have probably been more interesting. Like forcing the player to go north, to do all the north pockets first or something, but this isn't too horrid. As a concept, I suppose. It's not too dull as a concept, is what I mean. I have a guess as to what this orb is going to do. Let's see if I'm right. I mean, I could just click it and spoil it, but why do that? Of course, the thing about making a room where the player is forced to do something that takes a long time and allows a whole lot of roaches to spawn is that, what's I saying? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, right. If you're making... Oh, no, okay, this does the north first, alright. And then you have to trek through the north to get... Alright. So this is a bit of an asymmetric change here. Anyway, the thing is, if you're going to make a room where the player is forced to wait around for a bunch of roaches to spawn, you might as well have made a room where those roaches were already there to begin with. And it feels like an odd decision to not do so. Oh, a dog came in here. I'm guessing because my brother denied her food, and she's decided to go elsewhere. But I already ate, so... To be clear, when I say denied food, I mean his food, not her rightfully owned dog food. That's not going to end well. Let's get back. As of now, the presence of Wraithwings in this room at any point has been made completely irrelevant. Because, look, there's only one left. I'm just going to clean that up when I'm done with the cleans. There was really no need for the Wraithwings to still be here in this version of the level. Of the room, I mean. Is that going to work out? Looks like that worked out. Okay. That's not going to be sustainable. Let's just maybe deal with these guys first. That'll do. There's some slick moves. I am curious whether it's actually optimal to rush west after the button, and then come back and kill the rest of the queens, or to do what I'm doing, but better. Oh, check out, that Wraithwing's actually helping me here. Keeping a couple roaches off my back. In theory, at least. Now, if you could make a room that required a player to make a maneuver like that, but, you know, didn't involve a long horde surrounding it, that would be pretty cool. I don't think it would be too hard to force that maneuver either. Just a little bit of force arrow usage. Maybe don't sit here fighting these guys in a slow manner when there's a queen right next to me. Alright, now we can kill the south guys. This room design does have the peculiarity of a weird difficulty curve. Basically the room starts out kind of medium, and then it gets to its hardest as you're trying to trek back to the west, and now it's at its easiest possible state. Because there's less queens around, I'm just, as I progress to the east, there's going to be nothing behind me. So its difficulty is going to kind of peter out at this point, into nothingness. Usually you expect a room to... I don't know. It's kind of weird when a horde room... It's kind of a... I'm having trouble talking. But... what I'm trying to suggest is, like, just by nature, a horde room has a strong possibility of being a room that starts hard and becomes easy, which almost feels wrong to me. And it's a lot of... I mean, unless you're making a horde room to be really hard and then trivial when you've done the hard part, I think it's kind of one way to make a good horde room is to make one that becomes harder the more progress you make, but in an interesting way. Certainly a lot of rooms do seem to go for that, where, like, you kill one queen, you release a bunch more enemies that are going to come after you, or you make progress pressing the buttons that you need to, and the tar babies are spawning a lot more tar babies are spawning than there were when you started the room. That kind of thing. And of course, that kind of thing is where you can create something the player needs to actually solve, like deceive the player into thinking they should do the thing that makes the room harder, but actually makes it harder, that actually makes it impossible instead of just harder, yeah. Yeah, dropping trapdoors works as well. Alright, well, that was kind of a dull room. I don't know, just the room itself is really repetitive, and only the third variation I feel really added something meaningful. The Wraithwings were kind of irrelevant to the room as a whole, in my opinion. This room is all about Wraithwings. Lovely. But it should be pretty easy because I have walls to my east and west to bonk a Wraithwing, to bonk the last Wraithwing into. Boom. Alright, what is to the west? Okay. Oh hey, this room adds eyes, which is not really all that relevant to the whole Wraithwing issue. These Wraithwings are really prone to lining themselves up in a kill corridor, just because of the design of the room. Oh man, I have to walk forward and then walk back again, and then there's a line of things I can skewer. So hard. Alright, what's the third one? Oh, now we have Roach Queens, so now it's actually something. Maybe. I mean, at the very least, I can't go kill skewer them. Because I bet they're on Force Arrows. I mean, you're spawning a grand total of like 4 roaches at a time. So this still isn't much of an upgrade in difficulty, but you tried, I guess? I don't know. It feels like there wasn't enough work done into creating variation to the room. I mean, I suppose if you design a room cleverly enough, then a very tiny variation can make a completely different room. That's kind of one way of making static rooms interesting. Yeah, Brain might have been interesting there. But the alternative is to make a room and then to alter its design somewhat more significantly, like change the geometry more. Oh look, it's that horde room from the previous floor, except now there's no orbs in between. This is the room that ended the last floor, pretty much. It's very, very similar. Increasingly wide rooms with queens in them. It's just that there's not doors between. But the strategy is basically the same. I just have a little bit more cleanup to do in between each queen pet and each queen kill. Queen up? Ha. Alright, pretty easy. What's up next? Oh, okay. We put a few eyes in the room. Have fun. Okay. Sure, I guess. You basically almost added nothing. I mean, this almost... Not to repeat myself, but it just doesn't feel like anything was added. I feel like I'm playing the exact same room again. I don't know, it's been a long time since I played the room that this clearly was inspired by. The level, I mean. But I'm pretty sure that they did a lot of work to differentiate each tier of the room from each other. Or at least, like enough at least, to make it feel like there's a ramping up in difficulty or something. Alright, this room has doors. But, I don't know. Do I care that there are doors? If anything, the doors kind of make this a little bit a tiny bit easier, because I don't have to worry about some of the queens up ahead. Oh wait, I see. The second orb might be halfway relevant, because I have to be in the center of the room to hit it. But like the first half of the room is proceeding very similarly to before, with just less things coming down from the north. Alright, so I need to... This actually poses an interesting problem of some sort. Maybe what I should do is actually cross to the east side. Yeah, this seems like it'll work. This should help things along a bit. And get rid of that guy and the other guy. maybe that's not a good idea right now. Let's kill this first. Yeah, actually that orb is aligned with the north end of the room. If it were dead center, this would be more challenging. It would be the kind of room that I thought I was playing for a second there. But I think actually it's a pretty... yeah, it's not too hard to hit this orb at this point. I just need to be cautious a little bit of my timing. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm just gonna sit here. Maybe not. How about I sit here? Well, I'm not really sitting, but I'm killing things, you know. Right. There we go. So, I don't know. The east rooms were by far the most challenging, and the far east room was my favorite in terms of, like, having anything. The far north room wasn't too bad. The west rooms were kind of a waste of my time, I feel. I didn't realize there was actually a way north that I haven't been. Oh boy. Well, this looks like kind of a existence. Is there any reason to bother doing these all at once? Because I can just sort of do each one in turn, really. There we go. So, second version. We decided to put some queens in. So go kill the queens, and then you can do exactly what you did in the first version. Okay. I guess it's relevant that the queens are there if you're optimizing the room. But for me, this is just do another room and then do the room I just did again. And the other room that I'm doing first is not significantly difficult. Again, the east set of rooms already kind of covered your bases on like a meaningful queen horde, I guess. Meaningful queen-based room with Roach Horde. I feel like that base has been covered and doesn't need to be reiterated again. And even if it did, the north rooms already did do that with a slight variation of some sort. I mean, I guess I could bother with placing the mimics as I was going off to kill the queens, but why bother? I have patience, you know. Okay. So we finally made things relevant to each other, I guess. I'm still not going to care about killing the eyes until I'm rid of all the queens, though. Oh, okay, I see what I did. Probably want to get this one to get that. Yeah. I suppose this room would be significantly more difficult, but admittedly also much more irritating if there were anywhere whatsoever for these mimics to get stuck, or if the player's movements were in any way restricted. But they're just not. So it's kind of like, do some other room where you need the mimics to hit the orbs, and then do the room you did before again. I would actually like this room if I had something where I was like a Well, I would like the idea of the very first room. If you just put me in a smallish box with 4 mimic potions, like maybe a box the same size as those things, and I don't know, with those 4 shapes of rooms, have me just try to kill the eyes. Maybe, I don't know. It might be for the best. Okay, well that was level 2. What's level 3? Herein lie problems that cannot be solved by destroying things. Oh, okay. Here there be snakes, I guess? I'm not too fond of surprise snake horde in your face when you enter the level. That's not my favorite dance, but at least it gives me a very easy snake trap. Come on. Won't you please come west? Okay, thank you. Hey, there's roaches. Wait, this problem can be solved by just destroying things, namely roaches. I can literally just stand here and hold plus, and all but one of the roaches would die. What? Alright, here's something. Again, this room is solved by killing stuff. So I don't know what you were talking about. In theory, this could have been a level where I had to do something involving snakes that required thought or manipulation, but as it stands, you've used snakes as timers in 2 out of 3 pre-Blue Door rooms. So I don't know what to make of the level description. Like, oh look, here's a whole bunch of eyes. Have fun backing up and killing them all. Like, yeah, I don't feel like going through the effort of chasing down them all. I'm just gonna wake them all up and kill them that way. Why not? But is that the optimal solution? Alright, maybe there is a 4th room that's pre-Blue Door. I see there's a green door in this room. Okay. Yeah, here's a thing of some description. I guess this is what I should be doing. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Alright, maybe I should rethink this a little tiny bit. Well, I don't want to trap myself. There we go. Yeah, that takes care of itself just fine. Ta-da! Alright, what's this? Hey, we haven't introduced tar stuff, have we? This is the first room with tar stuff in it. Interesting. mean, we haven't otherwise introduced our stuff. It's very clear this hold is not trying to be baby's first Drod hold, at least. In that, you know, we're doing things like throwing the player in with a bunch of snakes right away, no telling the player how snakes work, blah blah blah. Oh boy, horde room. I wonder what kind of room this is gonna be. It's a horde room. I don't know. I didn't say that very well, but... So, I mean, I guess eventually this turns into a room with a giant amount of roaches. A big, wide open room. So I should probably be killing them a little bit more efficiently in the beginning. I feel a little bit better about that. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure exactly how to approach this part. I guess I could come around and try to shake them a bit. Or something. I don't know. That certainly doesn't feel like it's going to work. What can I do here? No, it seems like no matter where I go, I wind up in a position where I need to back up and I can't. Right, this might work. Just squeeze a whole lot of them through there. Yeah, I can't quite kill those fast enough. Oh yeah, that might work. This will work at least until the snake gets all the way around. This is what I was worried about trying to take the doorway, was those guys would come in from the north, and I can't actually kill these quickly enough to deal with that. Even though I'm killing one every turn. Well, you know, what if there just weren't any roaches on the north side, then? If I can arrange that and then get to the doorway, that would work. Let's see. Before I started doing this, here. I'm gonna wait here and kill all these guys at this point. Maybe that will fail to waste too many turns. I just need for there to not be guys behind the snake there. Alright, now I can run to the doorway, and I won't have anyone to my north to worry about. Strategy. And holding the plus key. It rhymes. I feel just ever so slightly as if some of those Larry Merck rooms that I've played might have prepared me a bit for this sort of situation. Maybe not. Maybe that's giving this hold too much credit. It's hard to say, really. I'm just gonna sit here in the middle of this thing and let them trap themselves. Yeah, there we go. This room, this level is much longer than it looks like it is. Like, it presents itself a lot like the first level at first, where you just kind of have a left-right split, and the blue door is to your north, but then it just keeps going all the way around. It's as if he thought he was going to make the first level size level again, and then just kept having ideas for new rooms, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just going to hit all the orbs first and then kill these guys. Alright, I'll just wait here. He'll kill himself. Maybe this guy will choose to go the opposite direction or something. Maybe not. Okay, that did it. Not sure how to make this guy die. Maybe if I stand far enough to the north, he'll eventually decide to. 26 plus 2 is 28, so his preference on that tile will change. I don't know. Maybe I should just be south when he's going there. That worked somehow. So eventually he'll be inclined to go south instead of east here. There we go. Alright, that's gotta be the last room, right? Yeah, exit level. Where do all these blue doors point? This room. Okay. Why don't I just door stand? Huh? There's some good reason I can't? Well, I don't see one. Well, that was easy. Okay, I think 3 levels is enough to get a feel for it. It's not too bad. It's kind of... it can be repetitive in places, but it's not horrible. Let's see what its successor is like. So, Secret of the Blank Dungeon. Beethro knew a perfect opportunity when he saw one. Bongthro, sorry. 2 years after telling his nephew Half, whose name has not been changed, the story of the Blank Dungeon, Half wanted to explore the dungeon. Bongthro agreed as long as he didn't take a career up in delving like him. God only knows what would happen if he spent too much time with the horrors beneath. As long as you stay close to me, so we can take care of this dungeon together. You will have specific duties, which we will come to when we get to them, but you must stay close. Bongthro to Half. You don't know what monsters live down here. Man-eating roaches, cunning goblins, vicious tar. Actually, I do, Unc. You told me all about it. Hey, don't be a smart guy. I'm warning you for your own good. It's one thing to hear about it. It's another thing to encounter it. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Plot. Wait. Don't worry, Unc. I got this one. How? can't follow you. Half, I want to see what's down this passage. No, stupid, you'll get yourself killed. Sometimes I wonder about that boy. So Half ran off even faster than he did in Rooted Hold. Well, even faster than the Half of Rooted Hold did. I need to get back to the 4th level exit room. I believe it is to the west. I gotta hurry before something happens to... Before something happens to Half, right? Okay. I know I said I gotta hurry, but I'm just gonna take it one roach at a time, you know? I mean, people can have the same name. This seems almost pointless. Why was there never a point at which roaches were coming at me from more than one door? That's like exactly what this setup is built for. So he said go west, which means I should go south, right? Oh yeah, that's also true. Bongthro could be a distant relative of Beethro's. Let me see. What relation could two people have who have the same nephew? I guess it could be a brother-in-law's brother, or a sister-in-law's sister. Something like that. Looks plenty familiar up ahead. Must be getting close. Yeah, that sort of thing. Granted, Beethro is never canonically mentioned to have any siblings except for a sister, I think. I could be misremembering, but I think Half is supposed to be... I mean, Beethro does have several different nephews, but Bongthro is also not indicated to have any children of his own, because why would he be with a nephew if he had one? Well, this room's absolutely ruined. Yeah, I'm about to ruin it right here. Check it out. Boom. Half, you're alive. I already opened that door. Don't worry, Unc. The monsters don't hurt me. What? You can't be serious. If you don't hurt them first, they just walk past you. Lucky little punk. Stay close. Did he stay close? I see no evidence that he stayed close. This seems an awful lot like a room where I'm supposed to be. Oh, there we go. I forgot about the whole that thing working like that. Well, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna stand right here where I'm perfectly safe until he hits the button. Maybe that wasn't a good plan. Let's be somewhere else. Yeah, that's better. Like, I'm pretty sure that Half is supposed to be Beethro's sister's son. In which case, there's no particular reason why Bongthro couldn't be completely unrelated to Beethro, but actually be the brother of his father. It would raise a question of how Half managed to get kidnapped into the 8th twice, but never mentioned the first time to Beethro. I would have to assume that this was the first time. I'm more inclined to think that this is just a different Half, which Asb chose not to rename because the character sprite is always named Half no matter what you do. It would be cool if you could change that string around. There's actually a lot of strings that would be really like default in-game strings that it would be really helpful to have variable access to. Like, if I want this to be Bongthro and I want to have him act in a cutscene, it'd be really cool if I could just, you know, use the Beethro sprite, but change a variable so that right-clicking it still says bong throw. That sort of thing would be really helpful. But especially being able to rename a health would be really cool.
There you are.
I can imagine, however, it would be kind of silly if you could rename anything.
Not possible.
For example, if you were allowed to just rename roaches. Then again, the results of that might be hilarious enough to be worth it. I mean, you can sort of do that if you give something roach-like behavior, but choose to call it something else, I suppose.
Going.
Why is this not a brain room? It seems really odd for this to not be a room with a brain. Oh well. Well, this is an interesting state of affairs. I guess I need to go fish Half out.
Ow, that hurts.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Hey, yeah,
But yeah, just being able to name Half, to rename Half, and maybe also Slayer something different would be pretty cool. Check out this pro door standing strat. I can't door walk, but I can door stand.
got it.
Oh, I can door stand here too. Ta-da.
Yep. Here I am again.
Oh hey, if it isn't that room, but now aligned from west to east, and from east to west instead of south to north or north to south. Well, it's not entirely fair. There's clearly more here. Let's see.
Back.
Hurry, hurry.
Going as fast as
Looks like I have to go here, actually. I'm not sure, but I think I can ignore the other room for a little longer. What does that button do? I guess that just opens a path if you've already been through here. Yeah, that was kind of a timer of sorts, because if you let too many roaches spawn, then eventually there would be one to the west. So good on, so I suppose good way to make the player have to let all these roaches spawn in a way. I did kill some queens on my way through, though. Which is to say, 2 of them. This is a bad place. Let's not be here. Alright, I should be fine here. Maybe. Yeah.
going.
Follow me.
Ha! Oh wait, not quite what I wanted, is it? I was hoping to use Half in a fancy shielding manner, but it's actually really hard to do that when he's in a big enough area like that.
Oh, hey, there you are.
Oh
Going as fast as I can.
well. That's the sound of Beethro yelling at Half 100 times per second. Hey Unka, we did it. Who's Unka? Yeah, we did. I hate to interrupt your celebration, Mr. Budkin and Mr. Budkin, so his name is Budkin. But I have some dire news for you both. Yikes, who are you? Mr. Budkin, you needn't concern yourself with such matters. Needn't? But what I am worried about is who will be waiting for you down there. Okay, then talk. There is an elite assassin waiting for you downstairs, courtesy of the Cult of Lost Archives. An assassin. An assassin, eh? You think this is some kind of joke? You will think differently upon meeting him, I am sure. If you think threats will deter me, think again. I'm not trying to intimidate you. He's really down there. Yeah, and I'm Jeebus Thrice. Mr. Budkin, you needn't speak with me any longer. If you wish to proceed, the choice is yours, but don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, I'm going. Come along, Half. I even tried to bump him to say go. An adventure sounds like fun. You gotta hand it to him, the kid's enthusiastic no matter what hits him. Okay. Longthrow figured that the Cult of Lost Archives was behind this madness, but he didn't know what their responsibility exactly was. He decided to delve deeper to figure out the answer once and for all, despite any risk they may encounter, including the supposed assassin has 4 S's, not 3. Assassin. Anyway, so his last name is Budkin, which means that either Beethrow's sister married someone whose last name happened to also be Budkin, or that this is Beethrow's brother who he just doesn't acknowledge, despite them both being Smite Masters, presumably in the same town under King Dugan. So, did you think our special messenger was establishing an idle threat? I am pleased to meet you. Unfortunately, I don't think the same can be said of you to me. Something assassin. If I cannot have the boy, I will still have you. Prepare to die. For I am your assassin has 2 S's, not 1, not 3. Has 4. I'm losing track of things. Anyway, is Half actually running? Is he gonna run through a Force Arrow down there? What, he just teleported through a Force Arrow. Since when? It's not legal. If Hal could teleport through Force Arrows, that would make Journey to Rooted Hold a very different game. Where did he learn to do that? Where did Half learn to teleport through Force Arrows? I mean, did he time travel? Is this like an Ocarina of Time thing where he got education as an architect and knew how to destroy and remake a Force Arrow, and then he came back in time? And I don't know. I may not have caught you yet, but I am relentless. I'm not going to give up that easy. Also, I wanted to point out this establishing an idle threat sounds really, really, really strange grammatically. Like, that sounds like translated from a foreign language strange. But maybe that's just me. Like, making a threat would be making idle threats would be a good replacement for that. What did that open? Oh, okay. I was confused for a moment as to what I had opened. Let's see, am I far enough ahead to just sail through this O loop, or do I have to let him come in after me? I could have actually made the first loop, but since there was a second, since the next button I needed to press was actually in there. Is there any reason to kill that roach? He's just gonna sit there doing nothing the whole game. I can come back to him later, right? What, the one where I stand still and turn my sword once? Yeah, I bet you've seen that before. Well, he's just gonna sit there doing that forever. Is he 39th or is he... Oh. Sorry. My hand connected with the microphone. Physically speaking. It touched it, I mean. Yeah, follow the wisp, stupid. Keep following that wisp like a blind idiot. That will definitely serve you well. about I leave those roaches for later? I guess I should try to make more distance here somehow. Yeah, that might be enough. Yeah, that's a little better. I don't want to hit that. I don't want to do that quite yet. Let's do this. Get rid of you. Let's see, is there any loop I can put this guy in while I'm killing these roaches? Oh, this is really awkward and irritating. I guess I need to go on a really long loop and lead him all the way around it, huh? Okay. Yay. Will that hold you long enough? Will you ever be satisfied? Yeah, keep following that wisp, stupid. Alright, time to make another merry-go-round here. Actually, hang on. Follow me north. Thank you. Now I'll loop through here. There we go. Okay, that's not quite what I want, is it? Maybe I'll just let him follow me out here first and then do it. And what's the trick to this room then? Oh yeah, I guess I could do that. Yeah, this works fine though. What, the one where I completely ignore you and kill a lot of roaches? I bet you have. That should be plenty of time. Let's throw it away. There we go. Okay, not in any of the in the original Blank Dungeon, we never did see an instance of this dull, long-winded trapdoor puzzle thing. I think perhaps it was the better for it, although I imagine a later level might have had one, for all I could tell. I guess so. It's still not too hard to exploit him into just having a long path to go by, or getting stuck against a roach like that. There we go. Alright, those west roaches will... Actually, I bet I can stick him there, kinda, sorta. Maybe not. I shouldn't allow that to happen. Let's see. How's about I make you a nice long path to follow? There we go. Now he has a really long way to go before he can reach me. Actually, I can make both him and the roaches unable to reach me at this point. Is that a smart? Alright, before I cut this way, let's get rid of these three. Good enough. Straight line. There we go. Unlock the room. Oh boy, this looks tedious. Okay, this isn't that tedious, probably. True. I wonder. Maybe I should try escaping toward the entrance when I'm done. Alright, let's give this guy a nice long loop to follow. Hold on. I need you to stop obeying the wisp for a second. Thank you. Help if I don't bonk against a wall there. Alright, that should do. That should work, maybe. Maybe not. This'll work. Right. Thanks for being a pal, Slayer. Moving right on out of my way when I ask nicely. Dog is back. Derp. Alright. Well, that series of events occurred. Oh. Okay. This room needed to exist. Why it did, I don't know. But the decision has been made. Without my input, really. Oh, there's a half. Okay. You go right on ahead, being unassailable, buddy. I'll be here assailing everything else in the room. That was smart. Let's just open the way to a bunch of roaches directly behind me. Yeah. Anyhow. It's funny, in an abstract puzzle setting, it's like, yeah, whatever, the half is in the box. But when you give it a story context, like it's actually supposed to be half or something, it immediately becomes completely ridiculous that he's inside of this, like, random geometry instead of being, I don't know, somewhere he could have walked to, maybe? Oh yeah, I guess I need to do this again. What a place for a checkpoint, eh? Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Thanks, Mr. Slayer. I knew I could count on you to kill those roaches for me. This room just keeps going, eh? God.
Okay.
Know that if you leave, I will not cease the chase. I will pursue you until either you or I die. Hopefully, it'll be you. Okay. Ugh, plot. People tend to think the most cuddly of creatures are also the most harmless. As evidenced by our most recent invention, this is not necessarily the case. Chief breeder of carnivorous cuddly creatures. I guess we're talking about wubbas which don't have a mouth, so they're probably not carnivorous. Oh well. So that's the third, that's 2 levels. I think that's good enough. Let's get back on the alphabet before the end of the day. That's one goal that I could say I have, perhaps. I assume that you could kill the Slayer in that room, probably. Alright, let's look at the Oceanic Oligarchy. Well, that's a good reason to stop off and move on to the next one, I suppose. As Bongthro wandered deeper into the Imperial tunnels, he contemplated that what the Cult of Lost Archives would be like. Little did he know the island had a complex internal system to keep out intruders. Island, huh? Alright. Technology is always evolving. One day you have to strangle creatures with your bare hands, the next day you can blow up monsters in a heartbeat. Musings of a village elder. So are we going to introduce bombs in this level? Because I don't see any bombs in this room. We do introduce water, I see. That's not bombs. Alright, this looks like some kind of something. I guess I just need this guy to step there. Although I'm not totally sure of any reason I couldn't have stepped there. That certainly looked like a put the eye on the button situation. Oh. Derp. Yeah, okay. I needed to put the eye on the button, so I did. So I guess the technology we're talking about is actually pressure plates, even though that is demonstrably not what blowing up monsters means. Like, you can't mention blowing up monsters and then make a level that's not about blowing up monsters. That just seems silly. Pretty dead simple as far as this room concept goes. Alright, I guess we're back to this room. Oh boy. What and why and how is this room? I guess I should shield myself in one of the queen zones and hope for the best. Yeah, how do I start this room? I'm not really clear on a good way to do that. I mean, it's gotta be something like this, right? Because I don't see how else I could survive the first few turns. guess this will work. Okay then. That was a room. Didn't I just solve a room like this? Oh well. Sort of like this, anyway. I think my best course of action perhaps would be this. That kind of almost works. There we go. Simple. Okay. I guess the trick is maybe to stay in the north end of the room. Can't wait to do that another 7,000 times. Did you really need this many roaches to enforce your solution, I wonder? Because I feel like the answer might be no. The basic idea of coming up with a good strategy to be able to prevent the roaches from standing on the button for too long, that's not a bad idea, but I feel like there might be better enforcement methods than just throwing in a whole ton of roaches so that the player has to do this 700 times. Alright, I think that's good enough. Yeah. Alrighty. What's to the south? Okay. What a weird mechanism. Well, what's this? What opens this? How do I open... Oh, there's multiple. Okay. So, like, you can toggle that twice, I guess? guess there are 9 of these, so I don't actually need to worry too much. This is just a weird mechanism, mostly. I can kill the inner roaches however I like, basically, is what I'm reading from this. Now... okay. I guess I should get the south one first, since that doesn't open 2 of them at once. Alright. Oh. Maybe I should hit this button so I don't have to worry about that happening. I could probably break this mechanism just a little bit by doing this, but what's the point? Alright, get rid of another of these, get rid of one of those. Okay. I guess I don't actually want him to stand on that until I'm rid of all these. Alright. Ta-da! That was a room. Looks like I can go south from that big room. Yeah. Okay. This is a weird... I guess what I should do is actually be in this narrow space. So this is Roach Maze, but we attached a horde to it that's not actually a very interesting horde. Okay. I mean, they all come from the exact same direction, and it's not very difficult to just shield yourself against really needing to worry about them at all. Alright. Next. Oh, this is a neat room. It's a neat room idea. Pretty standard kind of thing. Not too bad at all. Alright. I guess that's all of that. And we can see what's in level 2. Oh, no. Okay. This is a thing we're doing now. Oh, okay. Obviously what I should do is just hang out at the entrance. Not really sure how this is supposed to work, unless... maybe I can make a mad dash for the north entrance, to the north area? Let's try that. Whee! There's just barely not enough. Oh no, there's just barely enough time. Alright. Time to hold plus again. It's everybody's favorite pastime. May as well deal with these eastern roaches too. Now I just climb the staircase of queens. I don't know, I think this room is kind of interesting. Because it, like, I don't know, it has an interesting idea behind it at least. Because it, like, does this thing where it looks like you're supposed to go kill queens and release roaches kind of one at a time at first, but then actually, on turn 30, the queens release everybody. And then it's like, oh, where is safe place that I can get to? And the answer turns out to be rush all the way in as quickly as possible. Maybe the cleanup is a bit too repetitive, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea that here's this gigantic tons of roaches. You need to find a way to get past them and deal with it. Maybe it would be better if there was a bomb somewhere involved that you could use to kill a lot of them at once you've kind of solved the main crux of the issue. Once again, the entrance text mentioned a bomb, but there are no bombs. Okay, I guess that was the exit. The Forgotten Island. As Bonkro set foot in the island, he knew he would not return to the nightmare he had just finished, as he had just found paradise. What? I have finally arrived. After months of fighting the system behind the locked door, I am finally here. The system? And now to figure out how to stop these directors. Those guys are moving in slow motion. I could help with that. You? Look, I know it's been a while, but I was warning you for your own good. That doesn't seem like... oh, whatever. I work for the directors within close proximity myself, and can see every horrid act they commit. So I can help you break in if you're interested. But only if you drop the hostility, deal? Fine. Good enough, I suppose. Follow me. So something bugs me about... I know it's been a while, but I was warning you for your own good. Those look poorly connected. So I know it's been a while should be followed with something like, but don't you still recognize me? And but I was warning you for your own good should come after something like, I know we didn't meet under the friendliest of terms, or something like that. I don't know. It feels like that would have fit better to, just... It's weird, because it's like there's two clauses. It technically scans grammatically, but it feels wrong. Oh, this is the director's district. Looks a lot grander than I was hoping. Don't be fooled. One step in and you will see how deep it actually is. No threats deter a smite, master. Didn't you say that the first time we met? No, I don't think you did. I really don't think he said that. Let's go. I might misremember, but I don't remember him saying that exact thing. Oh well. I'm gonna explore the whole level because why not? Oh hey, a green door here. Are we looking at a secret room thing? Shortcut later? Probably a shortcut from later or something. Maybe an exit to the master hold zone. Oh yeah. I mean, they're not identical, but they're pretty close to the same thing. They're just kind of there. There's people wandering around. Yeah, it feels like atmosphere. Oh. Lovely. That sounds like a thing. Directors District A. District A, Vithro asked, as a negotiator who had not introduced herself at any point as a negotiator led him deeper into the complex. You were warned how deep it is, weren't you? Well, looks like we're stuck. Are we? How did you get past the green door? I'm gonna keep asking questions like this until somebody answers. Or maybe not. Well, hey! There are plenty of traps like this in the Director's District, so beware. This will not be an easy trip. Yeah, I figured that. I will see you at the end of this sub-district. Goodbye! Bye, I guess. Attention all personnel. Do not proceed to this area with a weapon. We will not bear any responsibility for those stranded inside the cage. Stranded is a poor word for this. I would have said trapped. Oh well. Yeah, here are the bombs. And there's, this looks like some manner of event. How about I just push this button? Which way do I want all this to be facing? I guess up, maybe? Yeah, that works a little better. Maybe. I'm just gonna exit the cage zone and killed him outside the force arrows. I feel like I might have done something unintended, because it sure looks like I'm maybe supposed to use all 4 of those arrow tokens, but this works much better than anything involving that. Once again, I pressed plus. I held plus. Oh, a guard. And rock golems. Do I need the guard to do something for me? I'm not sure. Let me see. These open the way to the rock golems. These toggle those doors. Looks like I need the guard to push that, maybe? Although I'm not sure how to get him to do that. Alright. I guess I need the guard then. You mean into the wrong hold? I suppose they could both be meaningful here, but anyway. How can I do this? That'll work. So, hey. How do I get the rest of these rock golems out? Oh, I see. Maybe I need somebody to push that one. And then I can make a big loop about. That might work. It's been a while since I've dealt with any guards. Not to make excuses or anything. I don't know, keep the guard alive is a pretty foreign thing for me a lot of the time. Oh, come on, could you not? Could I not? Could everybody just not? Okay. A bit more control over things this way. Maybe I can make him dance. That'll work. Okay, so now I guess I need to go... Have I already messed up? I feel like I've already messed up. Maybe? Well, no, I only need 2 more golems, right? So that's actually fine. I can do this. This'll work. And I even have a nice head start on the guard this time. That was maybe not the best plan. Let's try that a bit differently, eh? I need to make a full circle and somehow push the guard into that cubby. I guess. Help if he's not directly behind me facing that direction that I'm facing, but... Okay, I guess that's not too hard to actually arrange. Alright. Now I can just kill these. And I can kill him. Don't I just need to push that bomb? Or can I push that bomb? I can't push that bomb, so... So how do I kill that guy? Not sure. I guess he can't block me if he's trying to do that. Okay, that works. Yeah, he can't stab the bomb. Okay, that was pretty interesting room. I found manipulating the guard slightly annoying, but pretty good otherwise. Now what be this? Oh, this is a pretty classic sort of thing. I just need to work out how to turn these to get that. So let's see. To get it to go past the first one, I'll need to make this turn. The second one will require this turn. Actually, if I've turned both of those, looks to me like I can light the fuse after that. So that's what I'm going to do. Because that gives me a nice easy kill on these goblins. Yeah, it'll make it through the first several of them. And about here I need to start messing with it again. Huh. Or not? No. No, there was no reason to push the other ones. Okay. Sure. And it looked like the way to go was to the east. Oh, cutscene. Congratulations, I didn't think you would make it. Oh haha, very funny. This is the lightest guarded subsection of the director's district. Not very many people bother coming here in the first place, so they are happy with the inadequate security here. But make no mistake, the deeper you go, the more hostile the environment becomes. Alright then, I'll see how bad it is for myself. But first I'm gonna see where you came from. What, you came from nothing? Also, you're following me now. That's weird. How come it's hot all of a sudden? You know that wasn't a joke, right? Alright, now you might think you know the drill, but in order to access the innermost sub-districts, you need to collect white tokens. Lavas, admittedly they look like them, but aren't. These tokens will have special passcodes written on them where the gatekeepers will ask for identification via those tokens. Once you collect those tokens, we will meet for a third time. Wait. This was already the third time we met. The first time was in the previous hold, the second time was upstairs through you leaving me at the entrance of A, and then the third time was you meeting me at the entrance of A through... That would be the fourth time. Am I counting my meetings incorrectly, or what? Oh hey, it's that room from the original blank dungeon, except that there's hot tiles now. And the pluses are slightly bigger. Hot tiles kind of make a mockery of any board you put on them, though. A lot of the time, they like to anyway. It's very dark. Oop. fingers were not quite in the right position, so I wasn't pushing the buttons that I thought I was. This is really awkward. How about if I just do this? That's much better. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Among other things in the previous room's scripting, something like you might think you know the drill should come, I don't know, when there's some kind of routine that the character being spoken to already knows about. I'm not totally convinced that there was such a routine, unless you count killing monsters to open gates as the drill that he supposedly knew. I don't know. It just seems like an odd turn of phrase to use in the context that it was used in. Maybe I'm nitpicking at this point. My proofreader habits are very hard to break. It's never just good grammar, it's having good communication, and I don't know, to some extent I like what I read or write, especially what I write, to flow very naturally and feel like, I don't know, logical in a way. And it's always kind of slightly jarring to me to read something. Like, I've built up such an instinct where I don't always know exactly what's wrong if I read something odd, and I have to try to think about what it is that I'm finding odd about it. That's a bad situation. Let's prevent it from happening. Alright, now it's just these two in the south. Do not want to lose room progress after all the slog I've gone through at this point. Is that it? No, I missed one on the corner, of course. Let's go clean it up. There we go. Ah. Alright, what be this? This be a room about killing wait. Oh, I guess this has a designated order, despite not initially looking like. Anyway, this be a room about killing these guys on hot tiles. About as dead simple as it gets, once you realize the order that's needed. I guess. Maybe not too simple. Let's see. But I stick you here, then bring you there. This is a nice establish and modulate kind of puzzle, where you're primed to solve things a certain way, but you actually can't, so you have to do it a bit differently the second time. Very nice. This room is full of seep. Seep hordes are kind of the dullest sometimes, unless you've got something cool like a timer on your back. Seep are so hard to use in good puzzles. It almost always has to be just something that you use to require the player to do something fancy with doors. Like, I find it really hard to use them in any context that doesn't involve either killing or not killing them with doors. Does that make any sense? Greetings. Oh great, you again. I was merely trying to warn you, the directors are nothing to laugh at. Yeah, I heard this spiel a billion times. I don't think that's how you spell spiel. I think there's just an SP. The directors have been plotting a war, but you're going to have to leave the island to discover the details yourself. Not a chance. Look, do you want your home place to be razed? ... That's what I thought. Okay, so can you tell me where to go? There is a tunnel system in the deepest layers of this building, leading to all of the native lands. Of course, you're going to go through all the security rooms here, but then you can go anywhere you want from there, even home. No kidding. Good luck. Oh yeah, using guards. Yeah. Getting some kind of help to deal with a two-seep situation is pretty cool. So you have intruded upon the director's district. Obviously, and what are you going to do about it? Can't you guess? I've outrun one of you guys, I can outrun them all. Also, you're in a room with hot tiles, stupid. You're gonna get yourself killed in like 2 seconds. Yeah, check it out. He's gonna try to turn around on... Looks like that guy wasn't familiar with hot tiles. Oops. Okay. I'll trigger that dialogue eventually. Looks like that guy wasn't familiar with hot tiles. Security unfamiliar... Heck. Security unfamiliar with the area they work in. This is going to be easier than I thought. Okay. So hey, this is that room that we already were in earlier, except that the pluses are in slightly different locations. This is such a pain. Maybe I should have gone for one of the sides first and done the center later? I don't know. Maybe I should go hit a corner? Because that seems to be one of my sources of trouble here. I don't know how to get at a corner at this point, though. Let's just try this again. I'm going to try and hit an entire side first. I like how he said that as he died. I think it might have prevented him from making the Slayer death noise. I could be wrong, though. Okay, yeah, this is going a little bit better, I feel like. I can kind of do the center now without too much difficulty, probably. It would be interesting if somebody coded a version of the Slayer that actually knows how hot tiles work, and like will not turn if he's on a hot tile. Although I imagine it would still be possible to kill him, it would at least be much tougher. Like he would always choose to move instead of turning. like to move away from the player if he happens to be facing the wrong way. I guess you'd have to do that in DrawedScript though, and that sounds like a pain. Oh boy. This looks like a thing of some description. I guess that description would not be difficult, though. Would not involve the word difficult, except for in the form of difficulty low. It's like, hey, we need a room with snakes here. You want to put a snakes in here? And also introduce rattlesnakes while we're at it, because, you know. But don't make them substantially different from the snakes in this room. You know, just use the hot tiles to make it so that they practically are just regular snakes again. Cool. There we go. That was our room with snakes. Yep. I guess I collected a token. Alright. This room is full of guards. I'm probably not supposed to do that, but I can. Ta-da. True, I suppose, but the issue I had there was that they're used in a way where they might as well have been red snakes. You know what I mean? You managed to take the heat of this section, but the worst is yet to come. The most precious resources of the directors have been overcome by a serious environmental threat known as briar. It grows rapidly and is sharper than even your sword. There is no problem a really big sword cannot take care of. Unfortunately, in this case, your best bet is to run. The good news is that after this, you can access any area you want to attempt to end the war. I mean, I doubt people would believe you, but I'll make them believe with my sword. If you say so, I must be on my way. I have to convince the directors I am still on their side. Understandable. See you when we return to the island, then. So, about the Wubbas thing. Was there any substantial difference between collecting the 2 Wubbas in the previous room, or just clearing it? I mean, they're on the tunnels you have to use to get out, so why do they exist? As Bongthro took a deep breath in anticipation for the final section of the Director's District, he noticed that the Negotiator and Chaos Entity were speaking the truth. He could not beat the dreadful blackness that was approaching him, and approaching fast. The Chaos Entity? Really? You're not even going to give it a different identity than just being a chaotic thing? I mean, come on. The Pit thing is a Chaos Entity, but it's also... But it commits to being chaotic in kind of a nature-ish way. Is this a room I could have solved by sitting still? Probably not. I feel like you could maybe have come up with some different identity for your weird eldritch creature thing, other than just being chaotic again. Maybe? Maybe that's too much to ask. There's probably some point at which I could just leave the rest of the golems to the briar, and I would solve it. Oh my. That was loud. Anyway. can barely see in these rooms. The lighting is too low. Like, okay, in my opinion, and I think generally this is true of anything in any official hold, if you're going to make the level dark like this, you have to provide a lot of light sources, like enough light sources that it feels dark, but you can still see everything. I don't know how well this gets through on stream, but like on my computer monitor, I can sort of see what's going on, but I'm straining my eyes just a little bit. I think this is just a little too dark. Like maybe up the darkness, maybe up the brightness level one more notch, or just put more light sources around the room would have been really intelligent here. Would have been really favorable. So I wonder if I can just wait out that killing the golems. Maybe not. Nah. Worth a look. I guess I need to bait out the golems a bit somehow. I'm not sure what to do here. What's to the south? Oh my gosh, I can't see. I can't see. Let's... That turns that off, right? Yes, I can see again. I bet I can wait in this room and they'll just die. Like, of all the complaints of a room's architecture that I could possibly come up with to imagine to have, I can't see your room is not one that I ever expected to actually need to say. Like, anyone who's ever play-tested this room, including the architect, should be able to tell whether or not it's possible to literally see the room, right? Like, unless, I don't know, there's something where you can turn your monitor brightness way up and for some reason his is always way up or something. Okay. That one Wraithwing in the far south is creating a big problem here. We need to get him out of there. Okay, there. That'll do it. This is pretty clever usage. I just wish I could have seen it without turning the atmosphere completely off. You know? And this looks like annoying. This looks annoying. I can see now. I need to pull more rock golems out. Alright, that should be maybe enough. Will that grow again before? Yes. Okay. Very nice. Kind of neat usage, I think. Okay, I guess I'll come back to this room. So this room wants me, I guess, to just rocket all of the snakes up toward where the briar is and hope that it kills them. That seems an awful lot like what I'm supposed to do in this room. That room was way too dark. I have no reason to believe this one isn't also way too dark. So it's like, why bother going back into the settings if I'm just going to change them again? If I had some reason to believe this room wasn't just as dark as the room to the south of that central one, then maybe I would... there we go. Maybe I would actually change the setting back, but I don't know. I'm probably going to quit pretty soon, actually. Man, that snake is really dedicated to the idea of coming back into this part of the room, which I don't want it to do. There we go. Alright. That cleared that. Huh. Can I just sit still for the most part here? Also, great introduction to guards in this hold, by the way. Actually, never mind. We did see a guard before, just not a horde of them. That'll do. Come on, man. What do you back up for? There we go. Third place. Very nice. Okay. Oops. It appears that you have penetrated deep inside the district, but you shall proceed no further. I'll be the judge of that. Well, that didn't last too long. I said it would be easy. He didn't say it would be easy, he said he would be the judge of that. Okay. Well, those two rooms were mostly sorta kinda letting the Briar kill him, but not so much. Finally, I can head back home. I wonder how the negotiator is doing. And more importantly, what the directors are doing. Dagunda. I think I'm just gonna leave it here. Okay, Dagunda, huh? Alright, so... it's slightly overlong, but I think perhaps... actually, I don't know. There's a good chance I'll be able to continue my usual schedule next week, depending on one piece of information I don't have yet. Yeah, thank you. I wonder what these look like. Too dark, way too dark, way too dark, way too dark. Okay, cool. Not surprised. What was I saying? Oh, I'll be able to continue my schedule next week, I think. I might be able to continue doing alphabet streams on Fridays. I'm not 100% sure of that yet. I'm almost certainly, after next week, going to need to do something different for Metroidvania streams, but I haven't decided what to do about that. I might take a week off just to figure it out, because I'm going to have a lot of work time that I have to be at work doing things. Yeah. But for now, let's see. We've looked at the Blank Dungeon and the Secret of the Blank Dungeon, and the third in that series, Oceanic Oligarchy. We'll come to the fourth of this series when we actually naturally reach it, I presume, and the fifth after that, if it comes out, you know, depending on when it comes out. But anyway, for now, thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. Wish me safety this coming Sunday as I move again. But farewell for now.